with our new financial controller, Bob and so forth. So lots in terms of that planning process. We'll hear more next time, but we'll start putting at least the framework of the budgets together.
We also went through the health and dental renewal, which is in the package tonight, so we've discussed that too.
Okay.
And facilities and programs met last week, I think it was. Didn't have a quorum, so it was an unofficial meeting, but still talked about some program-related fee increases. Some of them were rather small dollar amounts, and one thing that we talked about during the budgeting process is to give staff the ability to increase fees under a certain dollar amount cap. Right now it reads that it's under a certain percentage cap. Just want to give them the flexibility of bumping up a program cost by $20 without having to go through the formality of coming to the board. So thinking maybe we can do that on a consent agenda or something like that if it needs to be in there. We also continued our deep dive into the racket sport financials. I think we have them in a format that we're all used to seeing. It's going to look just like fitness and just like golf. So I think the numbers are where they need to be. The next step is to talk about, okay, what's the strategy going forward? How do we minimize or eliminate the small loss that's occurring in both of those programs and get both on a 2 or 3 year strategy plan that makes sense. So more to come on that in the next few months.
Okay. Any general comments with commissioners at all? I have nothing to add at this point as a president report, so we'll move on to the next item, which is the approval of the minutes from September 17th, 2018 regular board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Was brought second.
And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Next is consent agenda. May I have a motion to accept the October 1st and 15th, 2018 payables?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Now may I have a motion to approve the October 1st and 15th, 2018 payables?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. We'll move on to the next item under finance, to 2018 September and year-to-date financials.
Yeah, really quick, our projections are still being tweaked, and the next 2 weeks will provide some really good information for us, especially with ending the last 2 weeks of revenue. We have some programs going on. Staff is doing a good job trying to generate new revenue and limit expenses. The tax is caught up, so now once we can see where we're going to end at the end of October, I'll have a good idea, probably the first of, probably the second week of November, where we're going to end up for the year.
So this is September 30th, so in here, the effect of the taxes, that's all been
It's all eaten
washed
out.
out.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Nope.
I've got to get a motion to accept the financial report as presented.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Next item is purchase cards ratification.
And we're right in line with where we were at last year. So in 2008, the purchases were $32,975. right at 31,000, so pretty much in line with budget.
Any questions, anyone, on purchase cards? Could I get a motion to ratify the purchase card payment of $32,975.36?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Okay, moving on, new business. Next on the agenda, the board will discuss and vote on a license agreement for the Lake Bluff Golf Club. Our process for this agenda item will be that Commissioners Mossberger and Patera will present details and impacts of the agreement and ask for board member comments only before the vote. Once the vote is taken, the Park District will publish information on the website by Thursday afternoon. Over the past 10 years, including this year, there has been a lot of discussion and long hours by board members, local government agencies, community members, and staff discussing the golf club and our many beautiful Park District assets. One key challenge we've had is how to best reach a strategic plan of financial sustainability to support these assets. Tonight we have an opportunity to take a significant step forward to accomplish many community and financial goals. The Park District is committed to being financially responsible with taxpayer dollars and to provide residents with quality facilities and parks that support the health and well-being of our community. This license agreement allows us to keep that commitment. The Park District spent months evaluating whether it was financially feasible for the Lake Bluff Golf Club to remain open. We met with companies that said they were interested in our request for proposals sent out last year. We explored different types of partnerships before finding the right agreement that benefits our entire community. The board is pleased to announce the company selected by the board through the RFP process and reached an agreement is Golf Visions Management under a license agreement. The board is voting on this agreement tonight. The vote is possible for two main reasons. First, the significant community efforts to raise private funds to offset some of the key capital costs. And second, extensive due diligence by the Park District to identify a financially responsible option. As a result of the extensive due diligence by the Lake Bluff Park District, including seeking public feedback on the future of the golf club, the Park District has come to the best possible outcome, a vote that, if approved, will keep the golf club open under a license agreement with Golf Visions Management for a minimum of a 5-year term. This plan keeps an amenity the community has stated is important to them. It accomplishes this through two ways. Money that the community members raise themselves toward the golf club, and a license agreement with Golf Visions that the Park District has secured. I'd like now to turn over the discussion to Chris Mossberger, Chair of our Facilities and Programs Committee, and Franz Patera, Chair of Finance and Future Planning. Our fellow board members are very excited for you to share the details. So, Chris, would you like to start?
Sure. So before I jump into comments for the board, I just want to say to the group that I am really excited to be here to be able to say that the course will be open for a minimum of 5 more years.
Yay.
And that result may not have happened, likely would not have happened, without all the support from you all, the community, a lot of work on the behalf of the board, and someone used the analogy early on in the process that we didn't feel like we were all pulling oars in the same direction. I really feel at the end here like we're pulling oars in the same direction. Thank you all for your passion, your energy, tireless efforts along the way. The amount of money you raised, it's unbelievable. I know it's short of the goal that we gave you, but forget the goal for a second. 118,000, was that the number? That's amazing. So, I'm going to talk a bit about Golf Visions, a little bit of the why, some parts of the agreement, and then also touch on golfer experience. My comments are going to be directed to the board, so I don't mean to turn my back to you, but we're making a determination today and taking a vote, so it's important that they get all this information. So the why, we've talked a little bit about the benefit of the lease. I wanted to provide a little more information about Golf Visions for those of you that weren't part of all the meetings with them. This is a firm that's been in existence for more than 20 years, but the founder, Tim Miles, has been in the golf business longer than I've been alive. Played golf at Missouri, studied golf in school, maintained courses. He's had a long career in this business, and he founded Golf Visions a little more than 20 years ago. Their current portfolio is 21 courses. The majority of those courses are managed by his company on lease arrangements. So he has quite a bit of experience taking on the operational risk of running a golf course in partnership with municipalities, park districts, and private owners. We've met with them, Brock and I, on a few different occasions. We toured a number of their facilities and came away extremely impressed with the quality of the operation, the consistent and high quality maintenance of the golf course at all three locations. We spoke with staff, we spoke with clients, golfers that were there. Spoke with some of Tim's family members. Really impressed with the entire operation and the experience of being at one of their golf courses. Tim runs a family business. His 3 kids all work with him. They're local. They're headquartered in Mundelein. A really good partner for us. Why would they be interested in taking on a golf course that's losing money? We asked him that question. He has turned around 17 of the 21 golf courses in his portfolio. He has somewhat specialized in that turnaround business. He does not see any major changes that need to happen to get this golf course back above break even. And he's not a charity. I mean, he's willing to risk his company operating financial statement on the success of this golf course. He is very passionate about it. This will be the first course for them on the North Shore. They do have courses up north of us and then courses west of us and in other areas of the state. So he views this somewhat of an entree into the North Shore market. And just is really excited about the opportunity. He thinks a lot about his legacy. I don't know how old Tim is, but I'm going to guess he's in his mid-70s, Ron? Yeah. Is that fair? He's thinking about his legacy. And if he can save another golf course, he views that as a home run, whether he makes more than $1 or not on that transaction. So I think his family and his company are going to be really good partners for us going forward. Some of the lease particulars, I think we've all received copies, a lot of legalese in there. The high points, 5-year term, renewable options, but the options are mutual. Both have to agree to go forward. The risk of the operations falls on their plate. So losses related to weather, losses related to poor performance of the course, that is Golf Vision's risk, not the Park District's risk anymore. The things that we continue to have to support are major capital expenses, and those are defined as anything more than $10,000. So $40,000 piece of equipment breaks, that's on us. Clubhouse repairs, potential eventual replacement, that's on us. But from an operating perspective, all the course maintenance, food and beverage, all of that stuff is on Golf Visions. And shouldn't minimize the impact of that. That's huge for us to be able to download that onto another firm. Just want to make sure I'm not missing any points there. There's a revenue share above $800,000. The way that's worded in the document, that's all revenue. So not just greens fees or member fees related to golf. It's inclusive of all revenue at the golf course. So to the extent that that revenue is greater than $800,000, we share in that revenue. Small piece at the beginning of the lease term, it's going to grow over time and certainly at any renewal. In terms of the golfer experience, another reason I really enjoyed Tim and his family's approach is they really love our asset and assets on the golf course. They don't think there need to be any major changes in order to make this work. So the name of the course, that's not going to change. The fees to play the golf course, they told us early on they were going to keep everything the same for 2019 and then maybe CPI adjustments going forward. But they're in agreement that we need to keep this competitively priced for what it is. Memberships, yes, they like season passes. They want to continue those. Events at the golf course, they love events at the golf course. They wrote up a few different examples. They do fish fries, Friday fish fries at a number of courses. They have movie nights out on the driving range. They do night golf. They have bands out at the golf course. It's very clear in talking to them that they partner with community groups at a lot of the other courses that they manage and lease and operate. They are very open to talking with our community and coming up with a series of events out at the golf course that could benefit everybody. Discounts for schools and public entities that want to use the course. We've talked about that. Operating the clubhouse, they walked in and said, wow, this is great. I don't think you need to make any changes to the clubhouse. Fantastic. So the golfer experience when you walk in that clubhouse next year should be very similar to what the experience is right now. They'll continue to operate food and beverage. It'll be a somewhat limited golf menu, burgers, hot dogs, sandwiches, that kind of thing. Cold beer, as Tim liked to say every time I met with him. So that experience of being at the course, playing on the course, for pretty much all community groups involved should be very, very similar to what it has been in the past. And that was a very important consideration for a lot of us that were part of these negotiations. In terms of event planning for next year, Deb brought this up today. I thought it was a very good point. Tim's ready to go. I mean, as soon as we, if we approve this tonight, he's ready to get started. And I think Ron is going to post his contact information, maybe as part of some frequently asked questions. Events that we want to get started on for next year, by all means, get a hold of him and he'll be ready to go in very short order. So that's great news as well. So it's just very positive. I'm very excited with the partner that we have going forward. I know there are a number of financial ramifications. Franz is going to get into some of that stuff, and then look forward to answering any questions that you guys have. Franz, take it away.
All right, thanks, Chris. So just wanted to add, the process, of working with Gulf Visions and going through the terms of an agreement from start to finish, it tells you a lot about, the partner that you will be working with over time. And we've been very, very impressed, all of us that have, sat across the table from, and tried to negotiate on different terms that were obviously to protect the interests of our community. And I think we've been very impressed in terms of their capabilities and the experience that we had through all that. So obviously we didn't get everything we wanted out of an agreement. I think everyone knows that very rarely happens. I think we wanted a 10-year agreement, didn't quite get that. But overall, the agreement is beneficial financially to the Park District overall. I think the reason we even got to this point is because we were all very concerned that we didn't have a path forward that was financially appropriate without having to go to the community for additional tax dollars. And so we looked at various options. We exhausted many, many options because of that fact. And because the operating losses on an annual basis surrounding the golf course were so high, that's the area where we started our focus. So I think that's kind of the history. With this agreement, though, the big chunk, which was our biggest concern, which is these annual operating losses, are going away. And that's what we really couldn't continue to work out. So that's really the biggest factor that allows us to say that it's solved a big problem for the Park District, and also gives us an outlook, at least over the next 5 years, where we can self-fund now the needs of the community, the capital projects that have been identified as necessary. Just even the maintenance that requires capital investments. We will be able to, we feel comfortable that we will be able to keep up with those needs over the next 5 years. And that makes us feel very, very comfortable to be able to continue with an asset, but also not have to have the big drain that it's had. So we will be able to, according to our projections, as a result of this agreement, save over $2 million over the next 5 years. That's $2 million we didn't have, and this without draining our reserves. So our reserves are, necessary. We need to keep to a certain level, and that's something that we are always concerned with, because we need to have just a little bit about that of that, back pocket cash. And so over the next 5 years, we think we'll be able to meet the needs of the Park District overall, and be able to self-fund. And that's where we really needed to get to. That's what we were, as a board, very concerned with. We are going to, have to obviously make sure that we spend, appropriately. I think we have about $2.3 million of capital that we're looking to spend in the next 5 years, and we can afford that. But it's not everything, obviously, that everyone would want. We will need to convert some of our bonds to taxable bonds, because some of the bonds had been issued for specifically the golf course. And with this agreement, that's one of the things that changes, but it's minimal in terms of comparison. And of course, there's the clubhouse that you've alluded to. We know that we need to make some changes to the clubhouse, just even from a pure maintenance perspective. So we've got some dollars earmarked for that, and we also hope to work with the Golf Course Association just to kind of explain what the options may be for the clubhouse, and how we can partner in addressing those needs. So overall, we looked at lots of options. This is a really good one. I think we feel comfortable financially. Our horizon, we can always look at out 10, 20 years, but right now we're looking at the next 5 years, and we feel good that our estimates are in line and that we can afford to continue to operate without having to ask for extra taxpayer dollars at this point in time. So overall, it looks good from a financial perspective.
And would there be some comments that
Yeah, so,
other commissioners would like?
sure, we forgot a few things, but would anyone like to, add a few comments? I know you've all seen, all the stacks of paperwork, but anything else, Brock?
One of the things, first of all, congratulations to the people that had so much involvement, because we all had various levels of involvement with this whole negotiation and consideration and whatnot, so that's the first thing. Secondly, I'm very supportive of what I'm hearing tonight, some of which I already knew. Back when we first heard from Golf Vision, their initial presentation I wasn't overwhelmed with by no stretch, but boy, they picked up their game in the second round, and I'm very fired up. And just, I couldn't be more supportive of what the work that's been done and what's being presented and proposed tonight.
All right, great. Bob? Any comments?
Yeah, a lot of you in this room, including some of my own board members, probably don't think I'm capable of being happy about anything related to the golf course, but I tell you tonight I really am. I think this is a really good result for both sides of the equation. To keep the golf course open, and just to add to that a little bit, the initial term is 5 years. There's a series of 3 5-year renewals in the contract to be mutually agreed. So there's the opportunity beyond that. And it really was the effort of a lot of people, the board working together, the public stepping forward and letting us know their views on the golf course. And I'd like to really at this point also like to thank staff. You guys did an awesome job, Ron, in knowing that you're looking at something that's going to impact potentially your job going forward. So really appreciate you guys stepping up and helping. So I am going to be a very enthusiastic yes on this.
Lori?
Well, I'm really excited. I think it's definitely a win-win for the Park District and the community, and thank you, because I know some of you on the board were spending a lot of hours on this. And especially, I know that Chris and Franz, you were the face to the Golf Association. But I will say, being on the park board, sometimes you don't see what happens behind the scenes. And our president, Rob Douglas, and especially Bob, behind the scenes, having the expertise and the background in golf, he really helped us so much negotiate the contract. And without him, we wouldn't be here today. So sometimes it looks like on a board that maybe we're not all agreeing, and sometimes we vote yes and vote no. But the cool thing about this board is we come together and we're you. The only difference is we're sitting here. But we're all Team Lake Bluff, Team Golf, and this is going to be an exciting 5 years for Lake Bluff.
Well said.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm excited, and I have to thank you guys so much for stepping up, doing what you did, your enthusiasm, raising all that money. You guys were really awesome, and I can't wait to see what more you all can do. I think it's a win-win, as Corey said, for Lake Bluff, the community, the Park District, the golf course. We have a beautiful, beautiful golf course. When you're out there during the sunset or the sunrise, or even in the afternoon of a blue, blue sky, big white puffy clouds, it's just a beautiful, beautiful course. And I'm really thrilled. I'm so happy for everybody. And thank you. And thank you to the board for doing all this research.
Now, please show up for the beach. It's coming up next. I want to see all of you.
Not tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to just clarify for the record that we can renew for his amount, a term, we can go up to 10 years after the 5 years.
Okay.
So I
Sorry,
just
I
no, that's
misspoke
my
there.
fault, so I wanted to make sure. But
Okay.
gives us some more
To be
flexibility.
mutually agreed.
To mutually.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Chris, I just have a question.
Yes,
I always ask questions.
sure.
Will Golf Vision be responsible for the water bill on the irrigation system, the watering of the course? How does
I
that?
believe they're responsible for the water but the irrigation system itself, if a
Yeah, I'm gonna have the water
pump
bill.
or, the water bill itself was theirs.
Okay, they don't take that over.
Yep.
We have a well, so there is no water.
It's really
Water
electricity,
bill?
We just pay
It's
for
the
the
electricity for the
electricity,
pump.
which,
Oh,
just
okay.
electricity for the pumps.
I didn't know
the
that.
electricity I'm sure will be their responsibility.
Correct.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
I'd just like to make a
Water is
quick,
not a problem.
quick comment, if I may. This has been quite a journey. I think we can all agree to that. I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs through the last couple months here. But we are truly a community here, and I believe we really all worked hard in all different ways, but we found a way to make this work. And that's what I'm really proud of here. And to be able to keep this golf course operating in a way that the Park District can manage the finance side. And it allows the Park District really to be, truly a park district where we have so many other assets. There's this building here and the aquatic facility and our parks and the beach. We have a lot of great things here, and we have a golf course that we can really say in the next 5 years is going to be up and operating. So I appreciate everyone's patience through this last, how many months it's been. I guess we started in February with the public hearing, so it's been quite a ride. So, but thank you everyone for all your efforts, and staff, everybody. They've been tremendous. So, and I don't want to be repetitive, but we have also some great expertise on this board too that really offered some great insight. So I feel very confident in this really being able to really balance the ship again when it comes to the Park District. So it's exciting. But those are my quick thoughts.
Well, we couldn't have done it without you, Ron, as well. So Ron's been instrumental in pulling it all together, done countless hours. I know that all there were different requests and pulling and information and so forth. So couldn't have done that without you, Ron. So
And a team effort.
All right, so
all right.
any more questions? Or?
Yeah, a motion in
So I'd like
front of
to, yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve a 5-year license agreement with Golf Visions Management, Inc. to operate the Lake Bluff Golf Club on the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Yay. The weight's starting to come off our shoulders, there's a picture. We'll move on now to the second item, which is the golf course food and beverage management agreement, termination notice.
In order to move forward now that the board approved the license agreement, working with Scott Puma, that we set a date of November 30th, that gets us through most of the season here. So in order to do this, we have to terminate the agreement and just give 30 days notice.
With Billy Casper.
With Billy Casper.
Yeah.
Any comments or discussion on this? Well, could I have a motion to terminate the golf course food and beverage management agreement dated February 15th, 2016 between the Lake Bluff Park District and Billy Casper Golf LLC, effective November 30th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
And a roll call, please?
Who moved? Did Brad move?
Franz.
Yes.
Second Franz.
Okay. Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes.
So President, I just want to add that they are obligated to perform under this agreement until the termination date, and so anything that we require request, any data, any information is ours, and that's working with Ansel Link. So I did a good job getting information today, and we'll continue. We have more additional information, but that is expected. So I'm going to be on top of that.
Okay. Next item. It's the golf course management contract, professional services agreement termination.
So we have the food and beverage, these are two separate agreements, and now we have the operations side.
Any elements in this that we need to,
Same,
same thing as far as up to the termination effectively?
that is correct.
Well, could I have a motion to terminate the golf course management contract professional services agreement dated February 15, 2016 between the Lake Bluff Park District and Billy Casper Golf LLC, effective November 30th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Now roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Okay, next item, intergovernmental program agreement, City of Lake Forest.
Just two changes to the agreement that we've had in place since 2012 with the City of Lake Forest. Worked with Scott on both of these changes. The program partnering, we just added some language just to clear up that Park Board and the City of Lake Forest, our policy manuals, our administrative, all that will always supersede any intergovernmental agreement or any decision. So you still control the rights to say yes or no to resident rates and all that sort of stuff. So we just wanted to tighten up that language and make sure the Park District was protected. And then the intended beneficiaries was just some language that Scott asked us to clean up, just to make sure we weren't creating any undue potential for claims against us as a result of this agreement.
Thank you.
Any comments on this? May I have a motion to approve the intergovernmental program agreement between the City of Lake Forest and the Lake Bluff Park District?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Last item under new business is the 2019 medical, dental, and vision insurance employee contributions.
So usually on a yearly basis, we take a look at the medical and dental insurance. If you recall, we're with the village and the library district. And so 2 years ago, we said, let's just hold off on raising any rates, or at least in terms of the employee contribution. We made a lot of changes 2 years ago. We knew we were heading into this new cooperative agreement called the NSCDC. And so far it's worked well. The recent information that we received back was that there was going to be a 10.5% increase to the entire NSCDC group. So there's quite a few members of that, and all across the North Shore and as far as Mundaline. And so what we felt is, with a lot of changes going on this year, 10.5%, we are one of the highest employee contribution rates among park districts as well as some villages we've checked. So we're at, that might not compare to the private industry, but in terms of the public industry, we're right around, our district's around 22%. So with this 10.5% increase, we felt wasn't the right time to increase the percentage overall to the employees. So we talked with the finance committee and we said we'd take a look at it on a yearly basis. This is not a 2-year type plan. This is a yearly basis. We'll see where we're at next year. And I do anticipate similar increases, just for the fact is they're trying to build up reserves with NSCBC. So, and then they've had some claims as well throughout the whole entire pool. So we're probably anticipating about 10.5% increases in the future as well. So anyway, so right now is what staff and the Finance and Administration Committee is recommending to, we have to increase 10.5%, but keep our levels the way they are today. And so why we have to go through approval now is that there's an open enrollment period coming up here in November. So employees have to decide whether to opt out or not.
Is this a January to January?
Yeah, we went to January.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's helped us actually
Right.
to have these conversations.
We used to talk about this in September,
We used
August,
to.
September.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and then this will help us in the budget process
Right.
and understand what we need to include. So the impact to us, to the district, is about $14,000.
And Franz, your committee talked this through, reviewed it, and you're recommending that we take on all of that for this year,
Yes.
but no guarantee that, obviously, that we will do a similar thing in the future.
Right, I mean, the employee portion is a percentage of that, right? So there, it'll go up also for the employees, but,
I didn't understand that.
Yeah,
That's
so,
what-
We're
yeah,
paying a proportionate share increase as
Oh,
well.
okay.
you're
We're
right.
sharing,
So
we're all
everyone's
sharing.
everyone's sharing.
Yep, yep.
Everyone's sharing
Okay.
in the increase.
I missed that.
We,
His point was, we're not
Ours
gonna
is
increase the
greater.
22 higher right now for the employee contribution percentage,
Okay.
is gonna stay constant.
right,
Gotcha.
so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this? Well, could I get, well, let's see, sorry, bear with me. The motions, here we are. Kind of a motion to approve the employee contribution levels for health, dental, vision, and spousal surcharge to remain the same, as well as the HSA contributions.
So moved.
Second.
Whatever,
Bob and Chris?
sure.
Okay.
And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Okay, next here is written communications, community comments, and correspondences. You've got your packets here. And,
What's on file?
yep. Any questions or additions to that?
No?
Not?
No?
Will someone then take us into executive session, please?
Come on, Brian.
Come on,
I'll be
Brock.
happy-
Let's go, Brock.
I'll be happy to give you a break, my goodness. I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussion of the meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act, whether for purposes of approval by the district of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 206.05 ILCS 120/2C21. Additionally, the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body pursuant to section 206.05 ILCS 120/2C6 of the Open Meetings Act. And lastly, for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of an employee pursuant to section 2.06 or 5 ILCS 120/2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera? Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Okay.
I would like to make a motion to authorize the executive director to offer a severance agreement with the following employees: Ed Heiser, Rob Foster, Kate Heffernan, Patrick Clancy, and to authorize the executive director to execute the agreements.
Second. Right, but that was a motion.
So moved.
No,
that was the
motion.
That was,
Second.
okay.
Chris, the second.
And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. May I have now a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing no nays, we're all done. Thank you.